I just want to tell Governor Brown, be careful what he whispers to me. I want to be real clear. I want to set the record straight. Number one, thank God my mother wasn't around when that comment was picked up years ago. And secondly, I leaned back. It wasn't the microphone. What happened was one of you guys were able to read lips. I was looking this way. So this press is really talented. And, oh, my goodness. Look, the fact of the matter is you've heard eloquent statements from those who have benefited and will be devastated by the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. You've heard from Governor Brown, who straightforwardly stated exactly what this means. You've heard all of the detail of what the losses will be for ordinary and hard-working American people, middle-class Americans. But you know what, to me, what the Affordable Care Act was all about, I remember sitting in the Oval when we were finally decided this is the final product, and the president kidded me about it, but I said, you know what this does? It means an awful lot of people that I grew up with, an awful lot of families that I know are able to go to bed now and not stare at the ceiling and think, my God, what happens if my wife develops breast cancer or if I end up with a heart attack? I lose everything. I lose everything. What happens if our child has diabetes? How are we going to be able to cover that child? What do we do? This bill is about peace of mind. Peace of mind for Americans to finally be able to lie there and know that, God forbid, something happens like it's happened to an awful lot of us, that I'm not going to lose my house. I'm not going to lose everything. I'm not going to leave my family in distress. And, you know, when we did the Affordable Care Act, one of the things I said and the president said and others behind me said, we know, just like when Social Security was passed, there'd have to be improvements made. We'd watch it and see what happened. And the improvements are all doable. They're all within our wheelhouse. You don't have to take this act, which has been incredibly beneficial, not only, by the way, to individuals, but total health care cost in America. What has happened, and Doc, you're making the point. Every one of the folks behind me has districts in their state or in their district where the opioid epidemic is real. You got 1.4 million people who are now able to, who are addicted to opioids, being able to get the mental health care as well as the treatment, the drug treatment needed to be able to move them into a position where they can regain control of their lives. Elimination of this, the costs are enormous. The cost to law enforcement, the cost to the community. There are so many hidden costs that will be resurrected here if this was repealed. But you've all been standing here a long time and it's cold. Let me cut to the chase. You know, this is, there's nothing fundamentally changed in the Republican Party in the last 12 to 15 years, except they got a president now who is a little more colorful. That is polite, but it's about time we're polite. But look, folks, here's the deal. When you cut to the chase, we're talking about eliminating close to $1 trillion in benefits that go to people to be able to meet the commitment we made that health care is a right, and we're transferring all of that to the wealthy. That's what this is all about. It's about a transfer tax, basically. Eliminating the Affordable Care Act means eliminating an awful lot of things that people badly need in return for what? So the 0.9% increase in taxes for people making over $250,000, couples, can be returned to them so that drug companies and insurance companies and medical device companies can benefit. It's a transfer of about $1 trillion from those folks out there to everybody in this country. That's what it is. And that's classic Republican politics. This is a tax bill for them. This is all about making sure that hard-working people, and by the way, middle-class people who otherwise seem to be doing all right, seem to be doing all right in their income except the cost of their health care. And it's saying, okay, pal, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer back close to $1 trillion to people who, in fact, don't need it. They don't need it. The last thing. This is going to mean an additional $57,000 a year in tax breaks for people making $1 million a year. Now, I believe if you lined up all the millionaires in America and said, do you think this is fair? I think they'd say no. I really do. I honest to God believe they'd say no. If it means all the bad things that happened before are coming back. So I had planned on saying a lot more, but the truth of the matter is Jerry Brown summed it up. Matter of fact, he got me so cranked up I was about to take my tie off. So, and by the way, I think he's the best governor in the United States of America, too. Anyway.
Thank you.